Hey everybody, Marcel with Irnieracing News. Today we're on castanet.net, which is a source for misinformation. However, we have a contributed letter to the editor about misinformation on carbon. So let's get into it, guys. This is a great letter, and we'll reveal who wrote this at the end. There are many misinformed people concerning carbon and its associated costs to Canadians. The Liberal government will have you believe you're better off with a carbon tax. The Parliamentary Budget Officer has stated, quote, when both fiscal and economic impacts of the federal fuel tax charge are considered, we estimate that most households will see a net loss, end quote. I think that quote settles the debate. We are worse off. British Columbians are especially affected by the provincial carbon tax. The maximum rebate you can receive is $466 per year if you earn less than $61,000. Most British Columbians will receive nothing. Secondly, the carbon tax directly impacts inflation. On November 19th, 2023, Castanet published an opinion column saying that BOC said eliminating the carbon tax would lead to a one-time drop of 0.60 percentage points in the inflation rates. So 0.6%, so 60% of a percent inflation rate. Most, quote, common sense people are aware of these points. For some reason, the Liberals and environmentalists are purposely spreading what I feel is, in brackets, or purposely spreading misinformation in an effort to confuse Canadians and push their agendas. Look at the brackets, guys. So that is not in the original letter. And there was brackets above saying, in an opinion column, Castanet published and saying that BOC, so they're Castanet editors adding what I feel is misinformation in an effort to confuse Canadians and push their agendas. Some may remember the acid rain issue Canada faced in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The solution was technology in the form of catalysts to remove the carbon monoxide that causes acid rain, and it worked great. Technology and adaptation is always the key to success. If Canada can displace 10% of Chinese coal with Canadian LNG, that will reduce emissions more than completely shutting down Canada. Let me say that again. If Canada can displace 10% of Chinese coal with Canadian liquid natural gas, that will reduce emissions more than completely shutting down Canada. Not only that, we would make a lot of money in the process. Germany recently signed a $100 billion 15-year liquid natural gas deal with Qatar, while Trudeau says there's no business case, and he put, while in brackets from the editor, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says there's no business case. Japan and Greece also want LNG from Canada. Trudeau basically tossed away $250 billion in revenue. It was the biggest business case in Canadian history, by the way. It's time for common sense to prevail. Written by Matt Irnie of Kelowna. Anyways, guys, good article. Good article on Castanet. You know, again, communist broadcasting paid for by Trudeau's government. Castanet pushes their own spam, their own narrative on many of their articles, including how they smeared me, guys, during the Freedom Convoy. Let's go take a quick look of that. All it takes is a quick search on government-paid Castanet for under Irnie, and you see Kelowna RCMP dismiss video as YouTubers' instigation to gain views and supporters. And then they used the same picture over and over. That was on February 1st, 2022. And on April 1st, 2023, Kelowna Mountie sues anti-mandate protester over YouTube videos. And then later on, it's September 25th, 2023, Kelowna RCMP officers suit against protester tossed by judge. Yeah. And then, so that's all about me, guys, and that's the smear campaign. And I'm the one that made them. They did the first one to say this one, to smear me. And it sent me a lot of haters who don't understand their rights in terms of the Charter, Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and how I have the right to not speak to an officer unless he has reasonable or probable grounds that I've committed a criminal offense. In the USA, it's called reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime. In Canada, it's probable cause, reasonable and probable cause. So let's read it, go through, and I'll tell you about the smear if you haven't read it already. Again, back to February 1st, guys. So January 29th, 2022 was the date that Conrad Herbs knocked on my back door of the camper, a structure mounted upon a motor vehicle. I was not in the motor vehicle. I was in the structure mounted upon the motor vehicle. It's very important to distinguish this. And I have court on May 2nd with Conrad Herbs. Still from this date, 840 days later, 2 years and 2 months later, I'm still going to court. Yeah, that Jordan case in terms of a timely and fair trial right to defend myself has gone past that 18-month criminal marker already very quickly. Here we go. An interaction, and this is by Rob Gibson. Rob Gibson's just a piece of shit. An interaction videotaped between a man in a recreation vehicle parked in front of Kelowna City Hall and RCMP officer on Saturday, January 29th, is making the rounds on social media. Local anti-mandate YouTuber Marcel Irnie posted a series of videos of an interaction between himself and a Mountie who was trying to get him to move his RV from in front of City Hall after it had been parked there for much of the day. Well, let's just into that one thing. Why is a Mountie trying to move if this person, or as it is me, who had been parked in front of City Hall? What right does a Mountie have to force somebody to move from their parking spot? And let's watch this series. Let's click the link and see where it takes us.
Okay, so what can I do for you?
Okay, you have your ID is what I've asked you for.
I don't need to give you ID.
Okay, then I'll be towing your car. So,
I'll talk to you through the window. Alright. I'm right here, hold on. I'm back.
well,
So what's going on?
I've asked you to meet me on the sidewalk.
I'm definitely not
going to
coming.
have a conversation through the window.
Well, I will. It's
It's
cool.
currently towable, so I suggest you get it moved and get your front plate attached and visible immediately. Otherwise,
okay.
I'll be towing you under that authority under the Motor Vehicle Act of British Columbia.
Okay, so what's the problem?
I just told you.
No, I mean, what's the real problem here?
I've just told you.
No, why are you hassling me?
I'm not hassling you, sir.
I'm just having some food here.
You're not permitted to be here. You're overstayed.
What's the stay on the street?
There's a bylaw.
And what is the hour I can park on the street?
What's that?
What time is it right now?
I don't know. You should check on your cell phone that you're recording me with.
Yeah, well, I have another one around here somewhere. It's certainly not past 11 o'clock.
It doesn't need to be past 11 o'clock. You don't know your legislation.
Well, I know you're allowed to park on the street. And usually you're allowed to park on any street in Kelowna for 48 hours.
No, that's not true.
Well, maybe not right at this very spot, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's not 11 o'clock
So
yet, is it?
I'm going to allow you 10 minutes to move your vehicle, otherwise it's going to be towed.
Here's some of the stupid comments if you've been reading as I've been scrolling. Here you go, from Cloud Creeper. You should maybe consider growing the F up. Just another desperate poser looking for attention. Your parents must be proud of their creation. Like, seriously, I didn't call the RCMP. Can you send RCMP, bring, can you send me down some tyrant cop named Conrad Herbs to knock on my door and tell me to move and tell me that I'm not welcome here and violate my charter rights and ask for my ID, even though he has no reasonable probable grounds to ask for me for ID and doesn't understand the MVAR acts or MVA. It doesn't understand anything. It's just, wants him outside so he's on his ground. Absolutely can't go in the motorhome. He was just trying to intimidate you into exiting your RV and you called his bluff. Dude's a tyrant and is a poster child of the exact attitude police should not exhibit. If this doesn't anger you as a Canadian citizen, and if you think that this kind of policing is acceptable in this country, then you are headed for some very dark days ahead. This country was once a beacon of hope for the nations, but now has become a despot for tyrants and bullies. Next one. Talk about corrupt shitlords. I know why they don't show their faces. They know they're completely in the wrong here. This is a redundant bootlicker, useless liar. Yep, a perfect cop. That cop needs to be fired. Say hey to the RCMP for me, will ya? David Amos. That's fine. I like YouTube. And that's what, me too. That's what Herb says.
So
And you also need to have a front plate visible and mounted on the
Okay.
bumper of your vehicle.
I'm not your enemy.
You're not my enemy.
No, why are you being a enemy right now.
This is a motor vehicle in Canada, in British Columbia, and it needs to have a front plate mounted in order to comply with ICBC legislation.
Okay, well, there should be a front plate, so I'll go check on that when I get going.
There's no front plate.
I'm not camping here. It's the day. I was just here in the
day. It's dark.
It gets dark in the winter at like 4 o'clock, and now 5 probably.
What time is it now?
I don't know. I was just on the phone.
Okay.
Why don't you please tell me what time it is?
It's 8:09 p.m.
It's 8:09 p.m.
Correct.
So why can't I be here at 8:09, mister, over there?
Why are you talking to him? I'm talking to you.
Oh, because you're not actually talking to me. You're just being negative towards me.
I'm going to start a timer so that we can all be lawful.
So,
if you like, you can record this on your
So, because you work for the city over there, why am I not allowed parking here?
Put that in your camera. So you have a 10-minute timer.
What's your name?
My name?
What's your
will be
badge
available
number?
To you when you provide me
What's
your
your name and badge
sidebar.
number?
My name's available to you out here.
What's your name and badge number?
Did you not hear what I just said to you?
I said, I'm asking you the question.
Okay,
what's your
fine.
name and badge number, please?
Okay, you failed to comply with me, so I'm failing to comply with you until you meet me out here.
I've done nothing illegal. I'm parked on public streets.
That's not true. You have done something.
And look, another stupid comment from Soul Parole. Marcel is the asshole in this video. I hope he gets her served a healthy dose of shut the F you in court. Oh, how's that? You're out to lunch. You do realize that, don't you? How am I the asshole? I am legally parked and I am being harassed by this Constable Conrad Herbs. Charter rights violated. My right to peaceful assembly. My right to freedom of the press. My right to association of others. I was there, parked, not causing an issue, not causing a disturbance. The disturbance was caused by Constable Conrad Herbs showing up. And you can't charge somebody for the police being the disturbance. People need to learn their Canadian laws and stop trying to use American laws in Canada. This man instigated and exaggerated the whole situation. Marcel did nothing but be disrespectful and cursed and swore and acted like a 5-year-old. Let's see the replies. It's not showing. Well, actually, I do know the laws, Mr. I stand with Ukraine. So you stand with warmongering. You stand with the military-industrial complex. You stand with 1 million dead Ukrainian men, and now he's going to conscript. Zelensky is now going after the children. He's going after people 20 years old. He's trying to move it from the conscripting people from 25 and above now to 20 and above. Mr. Grampy's Corner, you are out to lunch. I do understand the law, and the law is I didn't need to show my identification. I didn't need to do anything. I wasn't in the motor vehicle. I was in a camper. It's the same thing as somebody being in your house. If you're walking down the street and a cop asks you for ID, you don't have to do anything unless he has probable grounds that you committed a crime. So you should shut the F up. This is called little pee-pee syndrome.
Something illegal.
What have I done illegal?
I've already explained it to you.
No, the front plate is not a criminal offense. The front plate is not a criminal offense. Stop acting like a child.
I just told you motor vehicle accident.
What is your name, sir? You're going to be on YouTube if you keep this
That's
up.
fine. I like YouTube.
All right, why don't you show me your face and be
I've
human?
got more fans than you do. So here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to move your vehicle.
Sir, what is your name, please?
I'm asking you to move your vehicle.
Here's another one. Harassing a citizen on the streets of Kelowna when there are several thousand degenerates on the streets of Vancouver, which have been there for several years, and not one cop is out there doing a thing about it. But the convoy is taken down by armed Mounties and mounted horsemen. Well done, Trudeaus and Liberals. And that can be said about Kelowna, guys. I've been robbed in the last 2 years, last 24 months, 6 times in Kelowna. From my sandals being stolen by this freaking whack job on the street. You've seen the video on the channel if you haven't, and I had to go retrieve him back. And to my generator being attempted theft twice, not just once in Kelowna and once on Vancouver Island. To electric bike trying to be stolen, and instead they couldn't get the bike, so because they're so stupid they can't even figure out the locks are there until that's too late, and then they steal all the mounts and the lights off the bicycle. Oh, to what else? I mean, just unbelievable amounts. Trying to steal my dirt bike, that doesn't work. They try to steal the dirt bike baggage, that doesn't work. They try to steal a flashlight off the dirt bike. They stole the tie downs off the dirt bike, and the dirt bike falls over, waking me up in the camper. It just goes on and on. The crackheads, fentanyl users, meth users walking around the streets of Kelowna, in front of the hospital, in front of downtown, on Bernard Street, smoking crack, meth, fentanyl, in front of everybody, in front of children, next to the Ogopogo, the lake monster statue. Right downtown, you have 5-year-olds with their father, and then a guy freaking high on meth, smoking out of the pipe, and the police and the bylaw and the commissioners just watch and drive by. I have it all on video. I've showed you this, guys, many times. My name is Go F Yourself, you pig goof. Yeah, anyways.
Incoming video call.
Do you understand what I've explained to you?
First of all, you know I'm not going to be towed inside here.
Okay,
Second of all, you know that I haven't done anything illegal. Incoming call. I got incoming call. Where is my other camera? So what is your name's officer security?
Right there. Can you read it?
Raph.
SRWRAITH. Are you police as well?
I'm security for the city of Kelowna.
Okay, can you please explain to me, because I'm really confused why this officer is here.
So you've been camped here since 10 o'clock this morning with the protesting group?
Well, not camping. I've parked here, yes.
So we're coming here to let you. We were coming here to let you know that
I can move, yeah.
If you're still here tomorrow morning, it's a bylaw offense.
Okay.
Boom. If I'm still here tomorrow morning, it's a bylaw offense. So why is the RCMP here? And I can answer that question to you because I finally got the detailed security report that was so mysterious. And the detailed security report is absolutely ridiculous. This comes from the commissionaires, and it says that they were monitoring and watching me throughout the day. Now, the commissionaires has no jurisdiction on the street. They are only there for passerbyers on the sidewalks or at the bus station on the sidewalks. They have no jurisdiction on the street. So why are they making license plates of people parked legally on the street, guys? Well, it's because I had the freedom flags and because the mayor or the RCMP or the politicians, the crazy extreme Democrat liberals are putting these guys attack dogs after people like me who represent or share the news that they don't want shared. So the detailed security report shows they were persecuting, they were prejudiced towards me and the Freedom Convoy, and they were monitoring all these vehicles throughout the day, which is not their job. They do not have jurisdiction. And I've even interviewed a commissioner who didn't know me at the bus depot and asked them about this very thing. He's like, we don't deal with anything on the streets, just the sidewalks. We have nothing to do with it. And Steve Rath even says he has no jurisdiction on the street. So why are they calling the police? So they're told to monitor the vehicles of the Freedom Convoy, which is not their job. Then they're reporting these vehicles to the head office of the commissioner, and then the head office of commissioner, the Kelowna Security Center, is calling the RCMP on me.
You cannot camp on any city street overnight.
Okay, so I'm not camping. This officer, you should tell him I'm not camping.
That's his discretion.
I know, he's just being a fucking asshole. It's such a shame, right? And that's his prerogative.
He's dealing with you under the Motor Vehicle Act. I'm dealing with you under the bylaw, right? City.
Okay,
bylaw.
so why didn't you just come over here earlier? Why is he even here?
What's that?
Why is he here, I guess, is my question.
Because you're parked on the street, right? It's not my jurisdiction on the street.
So,
Bam! You have no jurisdiction on the street, commissioner. So why are you reporting my vehicle at all? Why are you monitoring? Why are you watching my parked vehicle? And why are you calling the police on this legally parked vehicle? Why, huh? Prejudice against the people who represent our Canadian Charter of Rights. Prejudice against the Freedom Convoy. And this will come out in court.
so you're actually serious? I'm not allowed to park here past 10 o'clock?
If you camp here overnight, it's a bylaw offense.
Okay, yeah, I know. So I know I'm allowed to be here.
So it's proof. I am allowed to be here. This is all 3 hours of harassment and then so on and so forth by Tyrant Herbs. Then in the next court date, then he gives me all these tickets and we get to the next court date and he gives me more tickets and he gives me a cease and desist. And then the next, for the YouTube videos featuring him being a fucking tyrant. And then we get to the next court date and he actually gives me a notice of claim and sues me for libel and slander in provincial small claims court. But he's too stupid, Constable Herbs, to do an investigation on the website of small claims to see that it says right on the main page, we are not able to do libel and slander. We do not cover libel and slander. Whatever it says on the front page of a list of things you can't sue for in small claims court. We have no jurisdiction for libel and slander. But Herbs, his investigational skills are indicative of this and of his actual job and is actually how he performs police work. He can't even read a freaking website.
And I know I'm not allowed to camp here overnight, right? So, like, is there something else going on here? Like, why is he harassing me? Why are you... Officer, you better tell me your name. Why are you harassing me and what is your name?
I have a lawful authority to request identification. You have failed.
No, you don't. You need probable cause to ask for identification. I'm not driving the vehicle.
That's not true at all.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And it's been proven in court, you tyrant. I wasn't in the motor vehicle. You even said, you testified that the vehicle was locked. There was nobody behind the driver's seat. There was nobody in the passenger seat. There's nobody in the back seats. There was an individual in the camper. You even said this because you don't even know motor vehicle acts. This is how stupid some RCMP are, like Tyrant Herbs.
So what you need to understand...
Oh my God, you don't know shit, dude.
Okay, so no problem. The tow's on the way.
Yeah, good luck.
No problem. It's being towed at your expense.
No,
No,
in fact,
good luck.
In fact, the RCMP paid the towing bill after Corporal Hall made made the tow truck unhook, and you said in your own synopsis A that the RCMP paid the tow bill, right? Yeah. Point made.
Luck with that.
I already have my photo evidence. No,
That I'm parked on the street
Photo
at fucking
evidence.
10 o'clock.
I'm not concerned with parking.
What is your name? Tell me your name.
Why are you getting angry?
Because you are causing a disturbance in Kelowna. I am a lawful,
Yes, you are causing the disturbance, Constable Conrad Herbs.
humble person here in my RV. On the city of Kelowna. I am allowed to be here.
Failing to comply with the Motor Vehicle Act of British Columbia.
Yeah, you don't even know the Motor Vehicle Acts of British Columbia or the Motor Vehicle Act regulations of British Columbia because I'm not in the motor vehicle. I'm in a camper, which is a structure mounted upon a motor vehicle as per the Motor Vehicle Act regulations.
I don't know where it's going on my front plate. It should be right on there.
Okay, come look.
And by the way, the front plate ticket was thrown out. It was stayed by the Crown prosecutor. That was stayed, along with your ticket for my red flag on the dirt bike was also stayed, and the refusal to provide driver's license was also stayed. All those are thrown out, Herbs, because you're fabricating evidence and don't know what the hell you're doing.
I'm
Besides
not
being a
getting
tyrant.
outside so you can do some unlawful, unjust things because the way you're acting, that's what you plan to do or wish you could do.
Okay, that's great. So when you
What is your name? What is your name?
perhaps a lawyer can give you.
Can you tell me what this guy's name is, guys?
I couldn't tell you.
You don't know
Yeah, oh yeah, Commissioner Steve Raff doesn't know what the name of the officer is. Either you're an idiot or you freaking lying.
what this officer's name is.
So you can have my name when you get out of the vehicle. We can look at your plate and deal with this like adults.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
So you're giving me the middle finger on your YouTube video.
Yeah, because you deserve it. You deserve
I
it.
deserve it. Okay.
The way you... I didn't come and bug you. I didn't come and bug you. You came over here, knocked on my door very loudly.
Very loudly. Was that aggressive, perhaps?
Well, those doors are very thin, and you probably knocked on a lot, so it sounds really loud.
You enjoy your little commentary. The tow will be here, and we'll get you moved. And then at that time, I'm sure you're going to change your behavior.
Nope.
Then you're going to provide me your ID, and we'll get you to install your plate so that you're lawful.
No, I never provided you your right. I never provided my ID. I never installed a front plate. I never stepped outside until you were gone, Mr. Conrad Herbs.
Then you can be on your way. But if you'd like to be difficult, I can write you a ticket for having a plate that's not visible from the rear of
Yeah,
your
you
vehicle.
did that.
And another one for the front of your vehicle.
Yeah, you did
and
that
then if
too.
you fail to provide me your identification, that's another offense.
Fuck you, dude. You're a piece of shit.
So then he gave me another ticket on December 14th for also failure to state name and address on top of the ticket where he's failed to produce a driver's license. Anyways, guys. So back to the original Castanet article, guys. The Kelowna RCMP, here's a quote. Kelowna RCMP is aware of the video circulating in social media involving one of our officers, and we have watched the content of that video, said Inspector Adam McIntosh, Operations Officer of Kelowna RCMP. By the way, Inspector McIntosh has disappeared. He has been removed from Kelowna. There's nobody has given an answer on why he's been moved to a different gone, but he is gone. And what a stupid statement from him that he supports this officer. Irnie takes exception to the officer knocking on the door of his RV and refuses to get out of his vehicle or provide his identification. Instead, he opens a window in his RV and begins speaking to the officer through the window. The conversation gets slightly heated when Irnie tells the officer, quote, "You're not actually talking to me. You're just being negative towards me," end quote. The officer, who also refuses to identify himself, responds with, quote, "You failed to comply with me, so I'm not complying with you until you meet me out here," pointing to the sidewalk, end quote. Boom. Even in this article, which is smearing me, they're actually showing that the officer did fail to identify himself as per requirement or before lawful obligation, as Constable Herbs said in court, that he's lawfully obligated to provide his name or badge number, which he provided was his badge number, which he didn't, of course, and he lied, committing perjury in court, guys, back on March 29th, 2023. Now, continuing, at one point the officer shows a timer on his phone and tells Irnie that a tow truck is coming to remove the RV at the owner's expense. The 3 videos of the interaction have now received a combination of nearly 150,000 views. In the videos, Irnie said he believes he was being targeted because of his participation in the anti-mandate rally that day. Inspector McIntosh on Tuesday fully supported his officer's action. Yeah, corrupt. Quote, in the review of the video, I would like to express my appreciation to the professionalism of the officer, end quote, McIntosh said. Quote, it is clear the officer was interacting with an individual who was trying to instigate a negative interaction and elicit a response to gain views and supporters, period, end quote. What a piece of crap. McIntosh, you're so full of shit. Good thing you're not in Kelowna anymore, because you're a real work of freaking dung. Like, you support an officer not identifying and harassing a citizen, and I've proven in court that I've won every court thing. I won the lawsuit that he sued me with. All the tickets were stayed from January 29th. The only one left is the tickets he gave me on December 14th, and there is a CRCC investigation against Herbs, and they have so far found, not very much, but they did find one thing. He breached the code of conduct by serving me the cease and desist and holding up the court for 30 minutes till he could go down and file his notice of claim, and serving me the notice of claim while in police duty in the courtroom, which is a personal lawsuit, not a police lawsuit. RCMP say there were no other incidents of this nature related to Saturday's anti-mandate rally. At one point in the video, while Irnie and the officer are arguing through the window, Irnie throws a middle finger in the officer's face, to which the officer responded with, enjoy your little commentary, end quote. Inspector McIntosh added, quote, we will not be deterred by such behavior and will continue to do the job of police work while in support of public safety and public order, end quote. Yeah, freaking right. Anyways, guys, let's finish it off. And then, of course, I contacted Colin to do this article. They weren't doing this by themselves after the smear, and Kelowna Mountie sues protester. Kelowna Mountie sues anti-mandate protester over YouTube videos. The Kelowna RCMP officer is suing a local anti-mandate protester and YouTuber after the man uploaded a video of an argument between the two on social media. Constable Conrad Herbs privately filed a lawsuit of $35,000 in small claims court last week against Marcel Irnie over a series of videos recorded on January 29, 2022. Irnie posted the videos of the interaction between himself and Herbs, who was trying to get him to move his RV from in front of City Hall after it had been parked there for much of the day. Now, they're always saying City Hall, but this was on normal street parking, guys, on Water Street. It wasn't like City Hall parking specifically. This was at the peak of anti-mandate protests in the city and was after a particularly large rally at nearby Stewart Park. The video gained hundreds of thousands of views and a strong reaction from Kelowna RCMP brass, which links back to the previous story. Quote, it is clear the officer was interacting with the individual. Well, we already read that from Inspector McIntosh, who's now disappeared from Kelowna. Irnie would make multiple additional videos featuring Constable Herbs after the initial series was published. Quote, since that date, over several months, Mr. Irnie did by way of direct action willfully and intentionally slander, libel, and actively attempt and succeed in damaging the professional and personal character and reputation of Conrad Herbs, end quote, said the police officer in a handwritten lawsuit filed March 29th in Kelowna. March 29th just happened to be the day we were in court. And he served me in court. The lawsuit also includes, quote, a cease and desist, end quote, notice from Herbs dated December 14th. Oh, also the first time we were in court. Informing Irnie that he does, quote, not now, nor have you ever had permission to use my name, image, likeness, or any other reproduction, therefore, without my express written consent, period. Wow. What a fool, huh? We all know, this is not a story, sidebar, we all know we are allowed to film in public, on a public sidewalk, and police, RCMP, while on duty, have no expectation of privacy. Continuing, the lawsuit, however, will be going nowhere in its current form. Small claims courts in BC do not have the power to deal with cases involving libel and slander. A judge in small claims court would not have the ability to order Irnie to remove the videos, something Herbs is seeking, along with his $35,000. He totally lost. What a fool. And this is before he lost, right? But even the guy who knows a little bit about, just all he had to do was read the website. You can't sue for that. It remains to be seen if Herbs will end up filing his lawsuit in BC Supreme Court, which would likely result in significant legal costs for all parties involved. In an interview with Caston after the lawsuit was filed, Irnie said police officers on duty have no expectation of privacy in public. Quote, a small claims lawsuit doesn't even deal with slander and libel, end quote. Irnie added, quote, so he just wasted $200 to threaten me in court, end quote. And then there's a picture of the handwritten notice of claim. And to finish up the story, by Nicholas Johnson. I had to call them and get them to write this article because, well, these news things, these CBC Canadian paid broadcasting networks getting funded by Trudeau, they don't want to follow up and do any redactions or do any corrections. No. So September 25th, 2023, a Kelowna RCMP officer's slander and libel claim against a local COVID protester and YouTuber was dismissed last week. Earlier this year, Constable Conrad Erbs filed a lawsuit against Marcel Irnie in small claims court over a series of videos recorded on January 29th and posted to YouTube. The videos documented Ernie's interaction with Constable Erbs as Irnie was inside his truck camper parked outside of Kelowna City Hall. This was at the peak of the COVID mandate protests in the city following a particularly large rally in nearby Stewart Park. Irnie says he was there to, quote, peacefully protest against vaccine mandates and other restrictions, and report upon the protest for his YouTube channel. One video of Ernie's interaction with Constable Erbs gained 185,000 views on Ernie's YouTube page. Inspector McIntosh of the Kelowna RCMP told Cassidy in February 2020 that he fully supported Constable Erbs' actions as seen in the videos. Irnie was given tickets for several traffic violations stemming from the altercation with the officer, which he fought in court, and they've since been stayed by a judge. Bam! In response to the videos being published, Constable Erbs handed Irnie a cease and desist notice on December 14th while Irnie was in court fighting his tickets. And Constable Erbs later filed a notice of claim in small claims court against Irnie. Quote, since that date, over several months, Mr. Irnie, okay, he's going to read the quote from the lawsuit again, wrote in a handwritten claim. But small claims courts in BC do not have the power to deal with cases involving libel and slander, and last Wednesday, Judge Andrew Tam dismissed the case on that basis. Irnie says he believes the officer has been vindictive in pursuing the suit against him. Irnie has filed a complaint against Constable Erbs with the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission of the RCMP, claiming that the officer served him court documents while in RCMP uniform and, quote, as an act of intimidation, end quote, which was, quote, outside the scope of his duties, end quote. As a result of that complaint, a code of conduct investigation was initiated against Constable Erbs according to a June 2023 letter from the Kelowna RCMP. It's not clear where this investigation currently stands. Well, so far it's gone nowhere, guys. We're still waiting on not Corporal, but now Sergeant Failer to give me more than a monthly update that says the investigation is ongoing. I got it for April. Investigation is ongoing. That's the same letter every month. And now it's 2 years, 2 months since the incident. Ernie says he has an additional 2 traffic tickets that are still outstanding stemming from the January 2022 altercation, but that were given to him by Constable Erbs during the December 2022 court date. Ernie says Constable Erbs gave him these additional tickets outside a Kelowna courtroom at the same time he gave him the cease and desist letter. Ernie says he has a court date next month to challenge those tickets. So I went to that court date, and that was October 30th of last year, and Erbs again testified again, gave his testimony. Then I was started to do my cross-examination for the first time, and I literally got 10-15 minutes into the cross-examination, entered a couple pieces of evidence, and it's lunchtime, and I'm like, so we're continuing after lunch, and his worship, not an actual judge, but his worship, a Judicial Justice Burgess, said, no, I have other things on my docket after lunch, and so now it was set for continuation, which is now May 2nd, 2024, 840 plus days since the original happening, guys. Irnieracing, guys. So yeah, see what's going on with Castanet. Thanks for watching. Bye.